Hi, I'm Kep Kepner, CPA here in Dallas. Sometimes I think I need to have a couch in my office because of all the emotional discussions I have with my clients. I care about my clients, I want them to be successful, and sometimes they don't do what they need to do to be successful. And they have to go through all the things that anybody does with a loss in their life. Depending on where you go, you can find out what those are. There's first shock that it didn't work out the way it should. Then there's disbelief. Oh, it couldn't have happened that way. I know I was going to get that client. I know my business was going to do this. And then there's denial. Oh, well, it's if I would have done it otherwise. So there's a lot of denial that you had any responsibility for it. Then you get angry. It should have happened. That guy should have bought from me. This person should have stayed with me and done the work. Then you start bargaining with yourself. Well, maybe I could have done that and maybe I would have gotten this result, but really they should have done this to help me get that result. Then you start feeling guilty about the loss of a loved one or some personal loss, and you have guilt about that. Maybe our life should have been better. And then you get real sad about that. And finally, you start developing some hope and acceptance that says, I'm going to move on from that. That's what people talk about when they lose a loved one. That's what happens when a child leaves the home. That's what happens when there's a serious illness. These steps of grief that people go through also happen to the business owner. Now, the business owner isn't going to want to admit to all that. But let's say their business isn't doing what they want. Well, the first thing they do is they're really shocked because they knew I made the decision to go in business. I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. Now they didn't. So now there's disbelief, there's shock, there's denial, there's doubt. Well, what could I have done different? They start bargaining. They don't really necessarily show anger, but they certainly show all kinds of frustration. If we'd have only gotten that client, then that would have opened up that whole marketplace for us. So they start bargaining with things they could have done. If that employee had been a better performer, then I wouldn't have lost the client because of my poor performance or poor quality control. And then there's with that, there's a whole lot of discomfort. And discomfort is necessary for a business to change. People have to be uncomfortable. They have to think that things are liable to happen and they better get on the boat and help with this, or their job is going to change, or maybe they won't have a job. So this discomfort happens. That's kind of at the bargaining guilt area. Then you start coming out of it. You have some discovery. You start discovering maybe you're the problem. And I can assure you from the psychologist CPA role that I sometimes play, most of the issues with a company are with the owner. And the owner needs somebody to tell them that. And we'll tell them the truth for sure. So you have this discovery that maybe I could have done things better. Or maybe I need to regroup and go at it a different way. From that, you start having a better understanding. You start having acceptance of where your company is. I wanted to be a $10 million company, but I'm struggling around at $500,000. I'm not getting there. So you have to have some understanding. Got all this tension built up so that you can change. You got some understanding now of the things you've got to do to cause that to happen. And then you start integrating that into your life plan as a business owner. You say, really, we need to take care of our current customers first. So take time and do that if that's part of it. If you've got to invest in technology because the market has passed you by, then decide how to do that. If you've got to protect your client base out there, spend time doing that. So start integrating this sense of loss that you have from not achieving your purpose and making it happen the same way that you do in a personal tragedy within your life. So all these processes are the same for you, the business owner, and for you, the person who has some loss. So if you need help working through a personal loss, you probably ought to talk to a psychologist. If you need help working through a business loss, you need to talk to us. Give us a call. We can help you.